Dad, would you say you and I are haters?
Yeah. I got to blow my nose first, guys. I'm an old guy. Excuse me.
All right.
Am I the first guy on television or whatever ever to blow his nose?
Blow schneis? Yeah, maybe. It's okay. It's
Okay.
charming.
Okay. Let me say this, and this really kills me. I got a lot of stuff on Twitter this week because, Iggy and I went after the Niners and they deserved it. A lot of people on my Twitter were okay. Said, we need to rethink this. But I always get a certain percentage of two kinds. One is you and your son are haters. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. I see where Grant gets it from. Now, I want to let you know, anyone who puts down Grant on my Twitter, I block. He's my son. I love him. I block him. Forget it.
Forget
So,
about it.
yeah, you're out of here. So, but in any event, are we haters? I would like to say we're not lovers, likers, or haters. I think the categories don't apply
Yeah.
because we cover. I'm using present tense. In my case, it was past tense, but I'm using the present tense. We cover the team. We're
Yeah.
not paid by the team. We're not
Mm-mm.
part of the team. We're separate from the team. So if they do badly, it's my job to acknowledge it and to actually explain it. And a lot of people say, well, you're not a good journalist. You're not objective. I was an opinion columnist. Grant is an opinion talker.
Right.
I'm not objective. I have
No.
all kind of opinions, biases, my personality. I don't
Everyone is subjective. Everyone is subjective.
objective.
Everyone.
Not writing news. I'm giving my
Yeah.
opinion. My
Yeah.
opinion is at 3-4, this team sucks and is a walking safety.
Yes.
So, am I a hater? No, I'm telling you what I see. And if
Yeah.
they were good, I would praise them.
Yes.
I don't see anything to praise about what they're doing now. So, I would say I'm not a hater, but what people who call me a hater want me to defend them in spite of the fact that they suck. I wouldn't do that, and I don't think it's fair for you to expect it.
When you bring up the topic of a hater, the concept of a hater, I feel like it sets up a false dichotomy. So if you're not a hater, you have to be a supporter. So you're one or the other. You're a hater or a supporter. Like, no, I don't support the 49ers. I don't hate on the 49ers. When they do well, I do well. When the Niners are relevant, I do better. Like, I would love the Niners to win a Super Bowl. I would profit from that. But if they don't, then I could profit from that too. Like, it's all, what they do doesn't matter. It's all about me interpreting it to the best of my ability, and that has nothing to do with support or hate. And if you are a supporter as a journalist, you're not a journalist.
I would
Unfortunately.
also say if you want people who are supporters / lovers of the 49ers, there are a lot of other sites you can go to.
Yeah.
And you will see a lot of ass kissing and a lot of support. And if that's what you need, don't come here. Go there.
And look, I work with a lot of guys who are fans and journalists who are very candid. But to me, it's a very difficult balance to strike because you're a fan and you're critical after a loss. But then the Niners make a big move like they trade for Christian McCaffrey. Your fandom doesn't really allow you to criticize that move in the moment. Because if you do, what's the point of even being a fan? That's Christmas for you. You just got a new player. But if you actually aren't a fan and you take the emotion out of it, you can see really clearly that was not a smart move.
Yeah, yeah.
Just saying. So it's tough to be a fan journalist. It's tough. I don't think you can do it.
No,
I just don't think you can.
it's a conflict of interest.
I
Now,
think it's a
you say
conflict.
something making this conversation a little more complex. I cannot speak for Grant, but when I was writing columns, let's say 49ers, if they lost a game or if they won a game, if they lost a close game, especially one that they should have won, I felt I could write a better column about that than I could about an easy win.
Mhm.
And I want to explain why, and it's about writing. I believe some of the best writing ever in the world is based on conflict.
Mhm.
When something goes wrong and there's drama, there's tension in that. Hamlet, which many people consider the greatest play ever written, is about a conflict. Hamlet is a nice young man whose father has been murdered, and he is supposed to seek vengeance, but it's not in his personality to do it. He's not aggressive like that, and he's not decisive. And the whole play is the tension in him of
Mhm.
how he can handle or not handle this.
Mhm.
It's a great play, obviously, because Shakespeare wrote it and the poetry is great and the characters are fascinating, but also because of the embedded conflict. And in a loss, there's an embedded conflict. Now the team has something to answer for. The
Mhm.
players have to explain the losing or show courage and character in
Mhm.
the losing. It's
Mhm.
why I love boxing. You get knocked out. If you want to have a career, you got to get up and do it again.
Mhm.
There's a conflict, there's a tension. So I do admit sometimes I didn't want them to lose. I didn't root one way or another. I'm talking Niners, Giants, any. But if they lost, I felt I could probably write a better column. Iggy, does that make sense?
Yes, there's a reason why the Niners are so much more interesting than the Warriors. The Warriors are a better franchise than the 49ers. The Warriors are the model franchise in America, in the Bay Area. I mean, they have a much better chance to win a championship this season than the 49ers do. But the Niners are the topic in the Bay Area because they're so dramatic. They don't get things right all the time. They do a lot of things wrong. And a lot of people are afraid to even talk about it. It's very interesting. That's why they're so fascinating to me.
I want to bring up, you brought up the Warriors, and I think you're proving my point.
Yeah.
The most news they've had so far this season is when Draymond Green punched Poole.
Winning can be kind of boring, even though it's what fans want.
But
It's still
when
kind of boring sometimes.
then there was literally conflict,
Conflict.
and people were then asking, is there another subtext to this franchise?
Right.
And it became fascinating,
Yes.
national news.
But when they win a game, it's like, oh, let me write that Steph Curry's great for the 800th time.
I have read so many columns that Steph Curry is great. He is great. How many times can you write that?
Yeah.
There has to
Oh,
be.
here's a new quote from Steve Kerr saying he's great. Okay, thanks. That's great. Wow.